At SpecialEffect, we use a range of controllers that give us options when creating setups with the people we work with. These often form the base of a customized controller setup, which may combine a range of equipment. In this video, we'll be taking an introductory look at these controllers and some of the methods we use for accessing the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 consoles. Hori Flex. The Hori Flex is a licensed controller interface from Hori. It acts as an interface into which compatible joysticks and switches can be plugged. These can then be used as inputs in place of the buttons or joysticks found on controllers such as Joy-Cons or a Pro controller. It also includes buttons on top for each of the button inputs used on Nintendo Switch consoles. At SpecialEffect, we use a wide range of joysticks with the Flex. Some compatible joysticks we use include the Zigzag and Ultra Stick from One Switch, the Optima joystick from Praetorian, and the Celtic Magic Feather joystick. These give us a range of choices from extremely low force joysticks like the Feather to those with more resistance like the Zigzag. You can also use joysticks with a 3.5mm jack by using the HID Remapper V8 adapter, which can open up a wider range of joysticks, including low force and standard force thumbstick style joysticks. There are built-in buttons on top of the Flex that can be used alongside any peripherals plugged into the controller. These can be helpful for somebody else to assist with some of the controls. The Flex controller also allows you to plug in accessibility switches with a 3.5mm connection for each button input used on the Nintendo Switch. At SpecialEffect, we use a range of digital switches with these connections. These include buddy buttons and spec switches from AbleNet and ultralight HD switches from ATEC. These give us options for different sizes and also the amount of resistance needed to activate them. The ultralight HD switches, for instance, give us a low force option within quite a small profile. We may also use the digital switches from the Logitech G adaptive gaming kits. The Flex also has an option to connect a PC to your Nintendo Switch and use eye gaze as an input too. Please see our full video on the Flex controller for more information on the peripherals we use with it and the controller's features such as using eye gaze. Catch-22 Nintendo Switch Interface. The Catch-22 Nintendo Switch interface is another controller interface which allows you to use accessibility switches and joysticks to create a customized controller. We often use this instead of a Flex if we want to add a controller for cooperative play into the setup. Please note, the Catch-22 we are showing has a custom option for a D-pad USB slot instead of the default option of an XAC port. It has a port for every button on the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. It also comes with a dedicated walk-forward port, which would act as holding the left stick up when a switch is plugged in and held down. This option can help reduce the need for two joysticks in some games. You can use the Catch-22 with your Nintendo Switch in either handheld mode or when it's in the dock so it can be used with a TV. There are 4 USB ports on top with 2 of them that you can plug in USB joysticks into. Some compatible joysticks we use include those that we also use on the Hori Flex and other interfaces. These include a Zigzag and Ultra Stick from One Switch, the Optima joystick from Praetorian, and the Celtic Magic Feather joystick. You can also plug in joysticks with a 3.5mm jack if you use an HID Remapper V8 adapter plugged into the USB port. Again, this can open up a wider range of joysticks, including low force and standard force thumbstick style joysticks. Plugging a joystick into the L port will act as the left stick, and plugging it into the R port will act as the right stick. The Help USB port will allow you to plug in additional controllers, such as the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, or the Power A controller that comes with the Catch-22. This option can be useful for those who may not be able to access many switches and joysticks via the Catch-22 and require somebody else to use a standard controller. It can also be a useful option if you can access some or most of the inputs on the standard controller, but may need some extra switches or joysticks to make up for controller inputs that are otherwise difficult to access. We use a range of accessibility switches like those we use on the Flex. These include buddy buttons and spec switches from AbleNet, or an ultralight HD switch from ATEC. Again, We may also use digital switches from the Logitech G adaptive gaming kits. More information on the switches and joysticks we use can be found in our separate Game Access post on the Catch-22 Nintendo Switch interface, which we've linked below. Nintendo Switch Pro Controller. The Nintendo Switch Pro Controller is a first-party handheld controller that is most similar to the Joy-Cons due to the button and joystick layout. The shape of this controller allows us to position and fix it in place, such as on a Travelsack Curve Connect, a Velcro tray from the Logitech Adaptive Gaming Kit, or a tech pad. We also use modified Pro controllers that have been made low force. These offer less resistance on the joysticks and buttons, requiring less force to activate them than a standard controller does. 8BitDo SE Lite Controller. The 8BitDo SE Lite Controller is a lightweight handheld wireless controller where all of the buttons are on the front of the controllers, including the triggers and bumpers. It can also sit flat on a surface. The buttons and joysticks have been made physically lighter to move, so it can be an option for those with limited muscle strength. It's also a smaller and thinner controller when compared to a standard controller, such as the Pro Controller. More information can be found on our post on this controller linked below. Adapters. Sometimes we have to use controllers from other consoles on the Nintendo Switch consoles. You can use a variety of non-native controllers on the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 by using adapters. We may use this method if someone wants to use their customized controller across various consoles rather than using multiple controllers. Or we might use an adapter if there are benefits to using a specific controller from another console over those available for the Nintendo Switch consoles. These adapters include a Titan 2 and Brook Wingman XE2 adapter. Before using these adapters, you would need to change a setting in the Nintendo Switch console. You need to go to System Settings and navigate to Controllers and Sensors. You now need to turn on Pro Controller Wired Communication. We might use the Brook Wingman adapter to use just one controller on the console, whereas the Titan 2 allows you to use two controllers due to its two USB ports. This means someone can use a standard controller alongside extra peripherals, or two people can have a controller each to control the same player. Controllers we use with these adapters include the Xbox Adaptive Controller and Xbox and PlayStation single-handed EVIL controllers. To find out more about these controllers, we have separate video articles on our Game Access website that we will link below. We hope you found this video a useful introduction to some of the options available for playing on your Nintendo Switch console. For more information on the equipment shown in this video, please visit gameaccess.info or use the links below.